No cameras, no applause, just you, in the quiet, in the early morning darkness, in the late night silence. Nobody watching, nobody caring, nobody noticing, just you and the decision to show up anyway. This is where it starts. Not on the stage, not in the spotlight, not when people are paying attention. Here, in the invisible moments, in the unseen hours, in the space where effort goes unrecognized. Stay until the end, because this is where real strength is built. The world isn't watching you right now. Not your discipline, not your effort, not your progress. They're watching highlights, watching outcomes, watching the people who already made it. But you're still building, still grinding, still in the part of the journey nobody films. And that feels unfair sometimes, because you're working just as hard, maybe harder. But nobody sees it. You wake up early, nobody knows. You train consistently, nobody cares. You study while others scroll, nobody notices. You're doing the work. Real work, the kind that matters. But the world moves past you like you're invisible, and it's easy to wonder if any of this is worth it. If effort without recognition still counts. If progress without proof still matters. If growth without witnesses is real. And the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. But most people don't believe that. So, they quit. They quit when the applause stops. When the motivation fades. When the world stops watching. They need external validation to keep going. They need proof. They need someone to notice. And when they don't get it, they stop. They give up. They tell themselves it wasn't meant to be. But it wasn't about being meant to be. It was about choosing to be. Choosing to show up when no one is watching. Choosing to work when no one is applauding. Choosing to improve when no one is noticing. That's the invisible choice. The one that separates who you become from who you could have been. And it's a choice you make every single day. You can wait for the world to notice. Or you can work anyway. You can wait for motivation. Or you can show up anyway. You can wait for perfect conditions. Or you can improve anyway. And when you choose anyway, something changes. Not immediately, not visibly, but internally. You stop being dependent on external factors. You stop needing permission. You stop waiting for the right moment. You just move. Consistently. Quietly. Relentlessly. And that's where self-improvement actually begins. Not in the moments of inspiration, in the moments of isolation. When you're alone with your discipline, alone with your standards, alone with your commitment. No one is there to hold you accountable. No one is there to encourage you. No one is there to witness your effort. Just you. And the choice to honor the person you're becoming. That's the foundation. Not talent, not circumstances, not advantages. Just the decision to build yourself when no one is watching. And what does that look like? It looks boring, repetitive, unremarkable. It looks like waking up at the same time every day. Not because it's exciting, because it's part of your routine. It looks like training even when you don't feel like it. Not because you're motivated. Because it's what you do now. It looks like reading when you're tired, studying when you're distracted, working when you're uninspired. It looks like discipline, not the glamorous kind, the boring kind, the kind that doesn't get posted, doesn't get praised, doesn't get noticed, the kind that just happens, day after day, week after week, month after month, and it feels slow, almost painfully slow. Because results don't show up immediately. Growth doesn't announce itself. Progress doesn't perform. You work for weeks and feel the same. You train for months and see minimal change. You study for years and wonder if you're actually improving. And that's where most people break. Because they expect fast results. They expect visible progress. They expect the work to pay off quickly. But that's not how building works. That's not how growth works. That's not how transformation works. Real change takes time. Uncomfortable amounts of time. Time where nothing seems to be happening. Time where you feel stuck. Time where doubt creeps in and whispers that maybe you're wasting your effort. But you're not. You're compounding. Every rep you do in silence is building strength. Every page you read in private is building knowledge. Every hour you spend improving is building capacity. And none of it is wasted, even if nobody sees it. Even if you can't measure it yet. Even if it doesn't feel significant. It's stacking. Quietly. Invisibly. Inevitably. And patience is the skill that allows you to trust that. To believe in the process even when you can't see the results. To keep going even when progress feels invisible. Discipline over excuses. Always. You wake up without motivation. That's normal. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, but discipline doesn't care about motivation. Discipline is the decision to act regardless of how you feel. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait to feel inspired. You don't wait to feel energized. You just start. Because starting is the hard part. And once you start, momentum builds. And over time, discipline becomes automatic. It stops being a battle. It stops requiring willpower. It just becomes who you are. What you do. Your default setting. You stay focused without praise. Because you've learned that praise is nice, but unnecessary. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing this for evolution. You're not building for recognition. You're building for mastery. You're not working for validation. You're working for self-respect. And self-respect doesn't come from what others think of you. It comes from what you know about yourself. From the knowledge that you showed up when no one was watching. That you worked when no one cared. That you stayed consistent when no one noticed. That knowledge, that internal certainty is more powerful than any external validation. Because external validation is fragile. It depends on others. It fluctuates, it disappears. But internal validation is solid. It depends on you. It's consistent, it lasts. And you rest without quitting. That's important. Rest is not weakness. Rest is recovery. Rest is necessary. But there's a difference between resting and quitting. Between pausing and stopping. Between recovery and retreat. Resting is strategic. You take time to rebuild, to restore, to prepare for the next phase. Quitting is giving up, abandoning the process, walking away from growth. And you know the difference. Because you've built mental strength in silence. Mental strength isn't loud. It isn't aggressive. It isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's controlled. It's steady. It's the ability to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. The ability to stay calm when pressure increases. The ability to focus when distractions multiply. And that strength is built in moments like this. When no one is watching. When no one is encouraging. When no one is there. Just you. Choosing discipline over comfort. Choosing focus over distraction. Choosing growth over ease. And in those moments, you develop emotional control. The ability to process feelings without being controlled by them. You feel the resistance, but you don't obey it. You feel the doubt, but you don't believe it. You feel the temptation to quit, but you don't act on it. You just observe, acknowledge, and keep moving. That's mastery. Not over circumstances, over yourself. And you ignore external noise. Because noise is constant. Opinions are endless. Distractions are everywhere, but you've learned to tune it out, to stay focused on your path, to trust your process even when others question it. You don't need everyone to understand. You don't need everyone to support. You don't need everyone to believe. You just need yourself. And that's enough. Because you trust the process. You trust that effort compounds. You trust that consistency creates results. You trust that time reveals progress. And that trust, built in silence, is what carries you through the invisible phase. The phase where change is happening but can't be seen yet. Your mindset is shifting. You're thinking differently, processing differently, responding differently, but it's internal. Nobody sees it, nobody measures it, nobody acknowledges it. Your habits are improving. You're more consistent, more disciplined, more focused. But it's private. Nobody tracks it. Nobody celebrates it. Nobody notices. Your confidence is growing. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need to announce itself. The kind that just knows. The kind that's built on evidence you've gathered in silence. Evidence that you're capable, that you're reliable, that you're evolving. And that evidence is yours. Nobody else has access to it. Nobody else can validate it. Nobody else can take it away. It's internal, unshakable, real. And one day, the world will see the result of all this invisible work. No one saw the work. Everyone will see the result. They'll see the strength, but not the reps. They'll see the knowledge, but not the hours. They'll see the discipline, but not the mornings. They'll see the outcome and call it luck or talent or timing. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was consistency. It wasn't talent. It was effort. It wasn't timing. It was patience. They only see the finished product, the polished result, the visible outcome. But you know the full story, the real story, the story of every early morning, every late night, every moment you chose discipline over distraction. That story is yours. And it's what makes you unshakable. Because you know what you're capable of. You know what you've survived. You know what you've built. And that knowledge doesn't come from what others think. It comes from what you've done when no one was watching. So keep building, in the silence, in the darkness, in the moments nobody sees. Keep showing up. Keep staying consistent. Keep honoring the process. Because this is where real strength is built. Not in the spotlight, in the shadows. Not when people are watching, when nobody is. Not when it's easy, when it's hard. And every day you choose to show up anyway, you're building something permanent. Something the world will eventually see. But something that exists whether they see it or not. Something real, something solid, something yours. Built in silence, proven in time, unshakable forever. Comment silent builder if you're working in the shadows.